Good morning, my friends. It is Friday at 11:30 and I'm on my way to work. Now, if I don't get this video done by the time I get there, I'll have to redo it, but I should be there early enough that it won't matter. So, I was watching something today. Now, actually, I thought I'd come out and go ahead and mention the group, because then if you guys want to join it, you can. There are a bit of trolls there, but I am a moderator there. It's not my group. But anyway, if you go on the Dreaded FB and look up Planet X Survival Group, that's our group. Well, I'm just the moderator, okay? So it's kind of funny because this was in the news too. But people laugh at everything because, like I said, if it doesn't affect them, then they don't believe any of it's a big deal. So there's a geomagnetical storm. I think it was supposed to hit us fairly soon. And I always like to say, the day that does hit, expect an earthquake of a 6.0 or higher magnitude, somewhere Ring of Fire. I never tell you where because nobody can tell, because we're continuously spinning as that happens. But people are laughing, oh yeah, but what people are failing to realize is that they're seeing this all over the world in different places, which is very unnatural. How do you say? It's not that natural. So it's happened, but very, very rare. Meaning, to me, that something is perturbing the sun big enough that it's making the lights seen everywhere. Oh, it's HAARP. No, it isn't HAARP. HAARP wasn't around thousands of years ago. Okay? The Carrington event didn't happen because of HAARP. There was no HAARP then. But the only thing that happened was it took out telegraph lines, because that's all there was. Well, now the infrastructure is huger. You got all this electrical stuff. You got nuclear plants. You got all this stuff all over. And that could affect all kinds of things. And kind of like what Mike from Around the World said, if they took out a nuke reactor, like a nuclear plant, it could create some kind of a virus, and it would be kind of like a Walking Dead movie. You know what I mean? And how able are all these people that haven't prepared at all, ready for 1 week, 2 weeks, a month, maybe a little longer, no power, hard to find food, this, that, or whatever. Your local grocery go-to won't have it. So, unless you're like these two guys, Canadian and New York prepper, that hunt, and you don't know how to do it, you're not going to be able to eat. But if you're like a lot of us, and have kind of prepared, and have maybe 2 to 3 weeks worth of food stocked away, even if it's canned, you're a little bit ahead of the game. Things to charge devices that you might need to use. But remember, those devices need to go into a Faraday box. Now, I have a little one. You can make bigger Faraday boxes on your own. Say you have an old ammo can, okay? If you line that thing with foil and put your electrical devices in it, well then it'll keep your stuff safe in an EMP, okay? So there's that. I still believe that thing's out there. I don't know exactly where it is. People keep calling it the binary object. Some say it's a comet. Some say it's a planet. No one knows. But the dreaded wormwood, which I think is Apophis, first they said 2036. Then they bumped it to 2030. And then I've read where a lot of calculations are saying maybe next year. Oh, it won't hit us. Well, that's kind of interesting that an asteroid that's only 14,000 miles out has no trajectory or any possibility of hitting us when these millions of miles away asteroids do. Okay, now, if we're dumb enough to shoot that thing, that could create a wormwood event where pebbles and rocks and this and that go into the water. Poison the water system, then no longer can you have drinking water because, and another thing I saw was where they were trying to say, oh, all this bottled water is contaminated. Maybe, but think about it. That makes people hoard water quicker because, oh my God, there isn't any. See what I mean? So, that stuff should be stockpiled pretty big. Now remember, water doesn't go bad that fast. It does, but not quick. So always have a couple of flats of water with you, and therefore you're ahead of the game. I've always talked all that. But the start of this video ended up being because guy was saying, oh, we can't see the northern lights here. And that's where I'm at. Yes, some people here did see them. In fact, what they had told them to do was take their phone camera, point it north, put in the highest settings without a flash, and then look, and you might just see it on the picture. Well, it's exactly what happened. Some people saw it. I didn't. We were in too much natural light, and there was no way. So, with all that back and all that part's done, I got one more part to talk about. Now, that video I did yesterday was just a test. But now that I know I can do it, I can do little videos about things I used to talk about, but show you the picture. And even if I have like maybe 2 or 3 places favorited, I can go back and forth and show you different things. So that's kind of a big thing, and it can make me do a little bit more videos, because this, even to me, just me talking, gets kind of boring. So that's going to be something I might try to get into. Now, the other is what happened yesterday. Now, first and foremost, don't get me on the wrong end. I'm not a big lover of you-know-who, but I also don't like you-know-who. Excuse me. I do believe in term limits. I do believe in age limits. So for somebody to say, oh, this guy's lost his mind and blah, 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 when you already have, no. But I'm not on either side of the fence. I do have an idea of what could happen if a certain person gets in. It will be, I don't even know how you're going to say it, but what will happen is that everybody who said all this stuff about it will almost be right, because it'll happen. Doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter if it's Orange Man. Doesn't matter if it's Sleepy. Doesn't matter if it's, what's his name from France. Doesn't mean it's Charles. Every single one of them wants a 2-state solution. Every one of them. Now I'm going to go on this boat. Excuse me. I've had a few friends in the military. I was in myself, but they were actually over in the Middle East and told me some of the things that went on there. Okay? So, I believe what these guys tell me because they were there. Now, while this is bad, because yes, it's involving innocent people and kids and all this and everything else, they are known to put all their stuff and their arms in hospitals and schools and stuff like that, because they figure that we won't do anything there because there's kids there. Well, Israel's just going after whatever. What's going to happen down the line, excuse me again, is that the UN or whatever it is going to come together and they're going to make them stop. They'll make them stop. Maybe. And a 2-state solution will happen. That it will happen. Biblically, it'll happen. So, doesn't matter who's the guy, it's going to happen. But there's also talk. No, we don't know because this is just saber rattling. We don't know for sure. But there's a lot of talk of, oh, you know who. And remember, they may not have the best of land weapons, but they sure got the big boys. And they could use them. Which harkens me back to the video that I did yesterday about Yellowstone. That guy, the leader of that country, had said that they thought about doing something to that volcano. Okay? So, that would be a pretty big catastrophe if it happened. Which would make food, water supplies, and everything else a pretty big deal. You see what I mean? Now me, I'm like a lot of people. I plan things and I say I'm going to do this and this. I'm looking for a race to do to prove that the old man can, I'm not going to run, but prove I can at least enter it, finish it, no matter. Even though that's way down the line, I'm still putting out for that because you never know it. You know, the world's just a funny place and things happen and things don't. So, I'm like everybody else. I don't say, oh, tomorrow's the end of the world and blah, blah. I've never said it. But I'm prepared for it, which is what everybody else should do. So, little by little by little, just have stuff. Another thing that happened, and you guys, a lot of guys might do it. I wouldn't. But these are people that just figure, oh, yeah, whatever. And then do what they're going to do. The United States has actually thrown a thing out that basically said for us to, not really travel abroad. Okay? Well, I don't plan on it. Here's something else. Something else I came across. And Pastor Paul talked about this. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't dislike the guy's channel. I just like all the pay everything. That eventually will drive me away from your channel faster than anything. But what he did say was true. Even if I had all the money in the world and could reserve the best place in the world to be, I would never go to the Olympics. Not this time, not where it is, not with the tensions of the world going on. Like he said, it's probably going to be worse than 72, and there was some other thing that happened. So no, I wouldn't be planning on going anywhere near there. Okay? Now, it's a powder keg anywhere. So, again, if you want to go there and do it, you do it. That's fine. But I ain't into that. Heck no. Oh, no. I'm not going to any of those places. And they're warning you not to travel abroad. Some people I know are doing it anyway. Whether they paid attention to the news, whether they just think it's all bullshit, who knows, but people are still doing it. Me, however, I'm not going to be that way. I'm just going to be careful, but do things I want to do. Now, I'm going to go into this maybe for 5 more minutes because I got the time. We got a 20-minute video. Alternate transportation besides this thing here. Now, one of the things I had an idea for those T cars that everybody owns, but of course they would never come up with it because they would lose money that way. But I don't understand why there's not a gigantic solar panel on the roof. If I parked it out here where I'm at work, sits it for 8 hours, maybe it gives it a 100-mile charge or something. But that's just me thinking. But this is where I'm going with all that. So, be it a bicycle, just a bike, electric bike or whatever it is, because you can charge an electric bike solar. I could do mine that way. I'd have something like that. But remember now, you go to a store or something, you don't want to leave that bike unlocked or unattended because people are pretty good and things disappear quick. Now, I'm going to do my own review. I haven't seen this yet, but we do have one at a store here and I wanted to go look at it. I'm not going to buy it though. So there is I'm going to do a review. It's an electric kind of bike made by Savvy Ego. Now, Ego is an electrical vehicle company. Some hardware stores sell the stuff. There's one at one here. The price range is pretty good, but the stupid thing about it is it looks like a motorcycle, but the bit about it is it's kind of too small for a guy like me, but kind of too big for a 7-year-old. Now, it goes about 28 miles an hour, but the way the specs are made, it can only be ridden out in the dirt and out in the farm. If that thing was more street legal, that would be an awesome thing to have. And the other thing I thought about, it has a bottom compartment for a spare battery, so it holds two. I think it runs off one, and then you have one. But what if the bottom, when you plug that in there, was a charger, and when you rode, it charged that third battery? All three batteries would consistently always have charges. Could ride endlessly, but they don't want to do that though, because then that doesn't, it's not cost effective for them. But the bike is a great looking bike. However, its specs don't meet what I would need. But I would say to try to get yourself any kind of endless, like bicycle, electrical bicycle. I mean endless, electrical bicycle, whatever, something to get you around if you don't have this. Even those little electric scooters, as long as it gets you somewhere. You know what I mean? It's a long walk to a lot of places. Excuse me, I haven't used my inhaler yet, so I'm going to be doing a little bit of this. So, transportation, food, water supplies, all that stuff. Once the net goes down, there's going to be a lot of hard times for a lot of people. Some people rely on power, and what are they going to do without it? So, prepare for it. That's all. And if nothing happens, hey, that's all good. You got your stuff. But these auroras that are seen all over, that's not natural. That thing's closer than you know. The world leaders know it's there. Some of this posturing and all this could be because of it. Even though there is wars and things are happening. Now, we're going to go a little bit on a tangent, a little minute tangent. A lot of people are very ready for this ET phenomenon to happen. They got that already set up. And people are so stupid they're going to buy it. They got AI. They got UAPs, which are ours. They got underwater UAPs. They got regular UAPs. And all they need to do with a little bit of AI is fake this landing, and these guys show up and look just like you and me, because in reality, that's who they are. And all the dummies that wanted ET to come fall in line and think that that's their savior. I've known about this since I was around 12. How I know, I don't know. But like my mother used to always say, anything that can be invented has been or will be. If you can think it, it'll happen. So that's probably all I got to go for today. It was a very long video, but I saw something that kind of, I can't say it irked me, but I hate these so-called scientists and geologists that don't know shit about anything. Because they're not. They're just regular people like you and me. Oh, that's not it. Gil Broussard has all kinds of trolls on his page. You should get rid of them. They're friends. The second they disagree with you, they're a troll. Peace.